Stories read aloud.
Zorp's Safari Adventure. Far, far away, past swirly galaxies and twinkling stars, lived a curious little alien named Zorp. One sunny morning, while on a very important space exploration, Zorp's little blue spaceship, the Zoomerang, sputtered and wobbled. With a soft thump, it landed right in the middle of a vast, sunny green plain, surrounded by tall, unfamiliar grasses. Zorp peeked out, then cautiously opened the hatch. Zorp stepped out onto the bouncy, warm ground. "Oh, my flibble-flabble," Zorp chirped, looking all around. The air smelled fresh and warm, filled with new, exciting scents. In the distance, strange, lumpy trees stood tall, their tops flat like giant green umbrellas. Zorp had never seen anything quite like it. This was definitely not Planet Squiggle-Squirt. As Zorp took a few wobbly steps, a truly enormous creature with a super long neck munched calmly on leaves from a very tall tree. It had big, gentle eyes and a coat of spotted sunshine yellow and brown. Zorp looked up, and UP. "Hello, friend," Zorp chirped, waving a three-fingered hand. The tall creature just blinked slowly, then continued to chew, quite unbothered. Zorp decided the tall, spotted friend wasn't much for conversation. So Zorp continued walking, trying to figure out which way was home. Soon, a stripey surprise appeared. A whole group of creatures with black and white stripes like giant pajamas were grazing peacefully. Zorp giggled. "Maybe if I wear stripes too, they'll know I'm friendly." Zorp tried to copy their quiet munching, which was quite difficult without any stripes or long teeth. Suddenly, the ground rumbled. A colossal gray creature with huge floppy ears and a long, swishy trunk appeared. It sprayed itself with dust, making a soft whoosh sound. Zorp was a little nervous, but the giant animal seemed kind. It looked at Zorp with ancient, wise eyes, then gently nudged a small, round stone with its trunk, pointing it towards a shimmering patch in the distance. Was it trying to help? Following the giant friend's subtle hint, Zorp trotted towards the shimmering patch. It grew bigger and bigger until Zorp reached a sparkling, calm watering hole. The water looked cool and inviting. Green reeds grew thickly along the edges, whispering secrets in the gentle breeze. Zorp hoped a cool drink might help clear the confusion. As Zorp leaned closer to the water, two enormous eyes popped up from just below the surface. Then a large, wrinkly snout appeared, followed by another. A group of hippos were having a leisurely bath. They snorted and blinked slowly, their big bodies mostly hidden by the cool water. They looked very comfortable, but also quite busy with their bath time. Leaving the bath-loving hippos, Zorp climbed onto a sunny, rocky outcrop. Suddenly, tiny, quick heads popped up from burrows all around. A whole family of meerkats stood tall on their hind legs, twitching their noses and chattering excitedly. They were small and quick, with bright, curious eyes. They seemed much more interested in Zorp than anyone else had been. Zorp decided these busy little creatures might be able to help. Zorp used a communication device from the Zoomerang, which usually translated alien languages, but here it just made cheerful boop-bloop sounds. Zorp tried to explain, using hand gestures, that the spaceship was lost and Zorp needed to find a way back home. The meerkats tilted their heads, chattering even more, clearly trying to understand. After much chattering and gesturing, one particularly clever meerkat, named Skitter, seemed to understand. Skitter pointed a tiny paw towards a very, very tall tree in the distance, taller than all the others, with a distinctive, flat top. The other meerkats chirped in agreement, all looking towards the tall tree as if it held a secret. Zorp thanked the helpful meerkat family and set off towards the giant tree. It took a long walk, but finally, Zorp reached its enormous trunk. Climbing was tricky. Zorp used suction cups on its hands and feet, like a little gecko, slowly making its way up the rough bark. Higher and higher Zorp climbed, until it reached the very top branches, where a wide view stretched out before it. From the very top of the tree, the world looked like a giant, colorful map. Zorp scanned the horizon, hoping to see something familiar. And then, far, far away, Zorp spotted it. A unique, shimmering rock formation, unlike any other, stood proudly in the shimmering distance. It looked like a giant, smooth jewel, catching the last rays of sunlight in a peculiar way. With renewed hope, Zorp carefully climbed back down the tree. The sun was setting, painting the sky in fiery colors. Zorp followed the direction of the shining rock. The path led through a field of the most beautiful wildflowers Zorp had ever seen, bright reds, sunny yellows, and soft purples, all swaying gently in the evening breeze. It was a magical journey towards the mystery rock. Finally, Zorp reached the shimmering rock. It was even bigger up close, a smooth, enormous stone that seemed to pulse with a gentle inner light. Zorp circled it, wondering what was so special. Then Zorp gasped. Reflected on the rock's smooth surface was a tiny, familiar blue shape. The Zoomerang. Not the whole ship, but a tiny, faint signal, like a hidden beacon. The reflection wasn't just a trick of the light. It was a hidden emergency beacon, powered by the rock itself. Zorp searched around the base of the giant stone and found a small, almost invisible panel glowing softly with the same blue light as Zorp's ship. With a hopeful chirp, Zorp pressed the button, and a happy bing-bong sound echoed across the quiet savannah. High above, a smaller, sleek rescue pod, also blue, zipped into view, guided by the beacon. It landed silently near the Zoomerang, which Zorp now spotted hidden behind some tall bushes. Zorp turned back to the vast, beautiful savannah, waving a fond goodbye. This adventure had been quite a challenge, but Zorp had made some wonderful memories and met amazing creatures. "Bye-bye, Earth friends," Zorp chirped, promising to visit again soon.